What did Lisa Murkowski just give Big Oil in the state of Alaska to vote for the big, beautiful budget bill? Well, everything they could have possibly ever wanted. Hey folks, Mr. Global here, energy, news, and politics, and we are going to cover what Big Oil gets in Alaska and what the people of Alaska actually get out of the big, beautiful budget. So let's start with Big Oil and what did they get? Well, first they got 4 million acres are going to be made available to them on the coastal plain of Alaska to drill. Yes. In addition to that, another 4 million acres biannually for the term of the bill. So this will equate to roughly 20 million acres of Alaskan wilderness that they will have access to drill on. In addition to that, they got a permanent tax cut to operate. In addition to that, no more judicial review of any permitting for oil and gas activities. In addition to that, no environmental review of any oil and gas activities in the state of Alaska. Now you simply pay a fee and go to work. Lower royalty rates that oil companies have to pay Alaskans, that is going to be reduced. Expedited approvals for oil and gas projects, eliminating tribal consultations. Yes. Oh, and in addition to that, they are going to accelerate the sunset of all wind and solar tax credits. Essentially, the oil and gas industry in Alaska, anyway, is going to be allowed to do whatever they want. No oversight, no regulation, just pay a fee and go to work. And we are going to expedite the permitting process, and there's no judicial review for anything. And why is the government giving this to oil companies in Alaska? Well, because oil companies have shown very little to no interest in operating in Alaska over the last, 10 or 20 years, specifically in ANWR, the Alaskan National Wildlife Reserve. So they are trying to lure them back to Alaska by saying, no rules, do what you want. No rules, come do what you want. No oversight, no environmental oversight, no nothing, just come produce oil. And might I add, that does not mean they will come. The environmental concerns were not the reasons they weren't going to Alaska. The reasons they weren't going to Alaska is due to the cost to operate and drill in those remote areas. It's not extremely profitable. That's why they weren't going. So this doesn't mean they're going to go. Regardless of whether they go or not, Alaska, the people of Alaska, are now losing $200 million a year in Medicare funding. And keep in mind, 38% of people in Alaska are on Medicare. So basically, wow. And keep in mind, I have worked in the oil and gas industry my whole life. I'm an oil and gas expert. And this might be the grossest thing I have ever seen in my life. A complete and utter sellout to the oil and gas industry, who honestly wasn't even asking for any of this. That doesn't mean they won't take full advantage of it. I really don't want to predict if they will or not. My guess is they'll probably get a couple of takers. Probably. They get those reduced royalties. That might help a little bit, where they don't actually have to pay the people as much as they used to. And they get all of that. And the people in Alaska who are poor and disadvantaged on Medicare lose $200 million a year in funding. The idea, this is the idea. The idea is that the oil and gas activity, the increase of oil and gas activity in Alaska will offset the losses, the cuts in Medicare. It won't. And even if it did, is that what Alaska would vote? Is that how the legislature in Alaska would vote to spend that money? By taking care of their people? The people that they just cut $200 million a year in funding from? I don't think so. Another thing that I find very disturbing is the elimination of any consultation from Alaskan tribes on what oil companies can do on their land. That is gone. And do you know why that's gone? Because the tribes do not support big oil coming in and doing their thing on the spot that they have left. It's their spot. It's all they have. And the U.S. government has just decided, we don't care. Maybe that's not your spot. We're just going to let you borrow it for a little bit. I think the best possible outcome, and I think the biggest I told you so that could possibly come from this, is if the response from the oil and gas industry is as muted as I think it will be. You're not going to see the oil and gas industry rush to Alaska to drill for oil. It's not super profitable. And they also, believe it or not, they have a brand and an image that they're trying to uphold. That's another reason they haven't gone back. They don't want it to be part of their brand. So we'll see what happens. But the tragedy will be in the big I told you so. If nothing occurs oil and gas wise, and 38% of the people in Alaska are exposed to these Medicare cuts, that would have devastating effects on the state of Alaska. It's a really big bet. I have witnessed lease sale after lease sale after lease sale occur in Alaska. Little to no interest. The last lease sale they had on the coastal plain, they did not have a single bidder from an oil and gas company or from anyone else. They didn't. There was no interest. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, Lisa Murkowski has completely sold out the people of Alaska for big oil. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Please like and subscribe. I will continue to do this work on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.